Alright, so the brother and sister duo that wrote and directed this movie wrote and directed The Matrix. They also wrote and directed Speed Racer. So that might explain some things. Jupiter Ascending, written and directed by the Wachowskis. I'm just going to read to you the IMDb plotline because my brain is not working right now and I cannot come up with a good summary for this movie without my brain exploding. So, in a bright and colorful future, a young destitute caretaker, Mila Kunis, gets targeted by a ruthless son, Eddie Redmayne, of a powerful family that live on a planet in need of a new heir. So she travels with a genetically engineered warrior, Channing Tatum, to the planet in order to stop his tyrant reign. More or less, that is the plot of this film. For the ridiculous sci-fi fantasy film that this is, it definitely is aware of itself and goes all out in that respect, which I've got to give it props for, and the special effects are actually really cool. Besides that, this movie is pretty much a heck of a mess. While the pacing was just all over the place, the thing that really bothered me were the characters, because there barely were any. The main character, Jupiter Jones, played by Mila Kunis, is an extremely bland lead character. You barely know anything about her character except the fact that she cleans houses or apartments with her mom and her aunt. That's it. A main example of no character depth or development in this movie is the romantic relationship between her character and Channing Tatum's character. The only reason that relationship happens is because they are attractive people and Channing Tatum's character keeps saving Mila Kunis' character throughout the entire movie. That's what I got from it anyway, because there's literally no other reason for them to get together. She says at one point that she always falls for the wrong guy, but we can't really sympathize with her on that because we don't see it. When we should see it is in the beginning, when we have that opportunity to get to know her as a character, and there is nothing. They don't give us anything. And there are just so many plot holes. I mean, the whole reason why this is happening to her and that she's the one, it just doesn't hold up when you really think about it. Some of the action scenes, your eyes just kind of glaze over because they go on for way too long, and at that point you just kind of want to see how the rest of the movie's going to play out. And then when it does, you kind of wish it didn't. But yeah, obviously these two directors have no problem with creating a really unique and interesting style, but in terms of a coherent storyline and good dialogue, it's just not there. And Eddie Redmayne as the bad guy is pretty interesting. You can barely understand anything he's saying because he's always whispering and talks like this so he appears more sinister, and then starts yelling to appear even more sinister, and it's just not. It's silly. I can't really do a good impression of it. I tried. You can tell he had a little fun with the role, but I feel like if it was just written better, it would have been more fun and more menacing, a lot more menacing. And instead, you just can't help but laugh every time he comes on screen. And it's weird because, as I mentioned before, the Wachowskis did The Matrix, and that's a good movie. But then they did Speed Racer and Cloud Atlas, which wasn't horrible, but it could have been a lot better, like this movie. And I really do admire the fact that this is an original idea, at least I'm pretty sure it is. I was really hoping that by some miracle it would just all make sense in the final act, but no. Jupiter Ascending is one of those movies that has potential to be a fun, just kind of sci-fi fantasy romp, but instead it's just a huge jumble of a mess that barely makes any sense, has so many plot holes, and squanders Sean Bean. So I'm going to give Jupiter Ascending a barely worth it. So what did you guys think of the movie? Did it upset you as much as it did me, or did you actually enjoy it? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. And have you seen any of their other movies? I mean, I'm sure you've seen The Matrix, and a lot of people seem to like that. So, yeah, I don't know. My brain hurts. Alright, guys, that's it from me. Hope you're having a great day, and I will see you soon. Toodles!